Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about NFP, which is tomorrow, and it has a big impact on the potential movements of the US dollar. So I wanted to get this video out and talk a little bit about what we could expect, some things going into that you should know about NFP, of course, some strategies to potentially trade it with, and some things to also avoid. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So of course, NFP is going to impact things substantially that have the US dollar in them. So if you're trading things like Aussie dollar or XAU USD or GBP USD, any of the things that have USD in them can be heavily moved by NFP. Now, for the newer traders out there, what is NFP? Well, I put out a big video yesterday about what it is and how to trade it and some strategies, but I wanted to talk specifically about today's NFP, tomorrow's NFP, that this is happening this week, right? And why it is such a potentially market moving situation. Now, things have been very optimistic for the dollar. We've seen, back here, we were seeing this dramatic decrease on the US dollar, but now we have tomorrow NFP after a really strong run up for the US dollar. So for the people who don't know what NFP is, by the way, what I meant to say is that NFP is the non-farm payroll. It is basically jobs and unemployment that is being released in the United States for the last month. Is it an increase in jobs? Is it a decrease? Well, let me go ahead and show you what they're forecasting, which may have a really big implication on what happens tomorrow. So let me go ahead and jump over to forexfactory.com and let me show you this. So tomorrow, they're forecasting that there's going to be 700,000 jobs created here with the non-farm unemployment change numbers. Now, we'll just pull this up for a moment and basically why traders care. Well, job creation is an important leading indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for majority of overall economic activity. It has high impact on the value of the dollar because it has a lot of implications about the overall economy here in the United States. And why does that such a big deal? Well, the whole world does business, well, most of the world does a lot of business with the United States. It's such a big powerhouse economy in the world that if the dollar is, or if the US is strong, if the US economy looks good, that bodes well for other countries around the world, and vice versa. If unemployment is getting worse here in the United States, that could be big as well. But the reason that this is such a big thing is that we have a ginormous forecast of 700,000 jobs created. Now, what we see with that is that going into the news, we can actually see the dollar getting very, very strong. So you can see, again, tomorrow the news is coming out and there's a big expectation, a big forecast for very positive numbers. So the reason I wanted to make this video is because if those numbers disappoint, again, there's very high hopes for the dollar. There's a lot of strength on the US dollar. If those numbers disappoint tomorrow, you could see some pretty nasty drops on the dollar. Now, I am bullish on the dollar right now, so I'm not saying that that's what I think is going to happen. I'm saying that right now it's very optimistic and there's a lot of positive outlook for the US dollar. So a lot of times when you have that big, strong buildup, you want to be careful because if the news comes out negative, I want to caution you guys because it could move dramatically. Again, it's kind of like a spring that's being like stretched out dramatically. It's very possible that if things break, if things don't work anymore, it could snap back towards you. And you already know, like if you play with the slinky or pull a rubber band or something like that too tight, it can hurt you, right? So just be careful out there with NFP tomorrow. So what are some ways to trade it? Well, of course, again, a lot of rumors coming in, a lot of positive rumors for the dollar right now have been a great catalyst for some of my trades. I'll show you guys the trade that I am in this week, which is dollar Swiss. I'll pull this up. So I've been riding some of this momentum here on the dollar. We saw a little bit of a pullback here on the 4-hour chart. I ended up getting long, so I do have a trade open right now. It's a $1,400, so I'm not complaining. I'm in a good spot with that, and I've got the stop loss trailed. But this is a unique situation because I am trailing this into the news because, again, I probably wouldn't take any trades today personally. I'm avoiding taking any trades right now because, again, you've got the dollar news tomorrow. So for me right now, I've got my stops locked in place. So if news, completely reverses this dollar thing, I'll probably just stop out. If it's very positive, of course, I will look to continue to trail and hold on to my winning winning position. That's kind of the nature of my trading. I bought back here, holding on to it for this move. This is a swing trade, so it's a little bit longer term than maybe the day traders out there. But again, with NFP tomorrow, I would say that just be cautious with any US dollar currency pairs because they are likely to move. The news is set to come out at 8:30 a.m. US Eastern. I will be live streaming, so feel free to come back to this channel and turn it on at that time, and you'll be able to watch the spike with me live if you want to watch the release and watch some of the interpretation of it. We'll have a guest speaker who come on and do some research and analysis with me. But the main idea here for the dollar going into tomorrow's thing is I will say that there's a lot of buildup. There's a lot of positive optimism around the dollar right now, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm saying that that's a good thing. It's strong for the dollar. The rumor is very positive, but just make sure that you're careful that if the news doesn't match the rumor, be careful that you don't get caught in a ginormous reversal. Because let's say, for example, that the numbers did come out very, very poor, right? Remember, I said 700K is the forecasted amount there for new jobs created. Well, if that comes out at 400K, for example, if you only get 400K jobs, yes, it's still a positive figure. Yes, there is still a growth in jobs, but this being less than forecasted by a substantial amount could cause the dollar to drop dramatically. Right? On the flip side, if the numbers hold at 700K, so if the actual comes out at 700K or let's say even 900K, if we get better than expected, this dollar is set to rally. Now, I know that this is pretty obvious, right? Better than expected is good or worse than expected is bad. But for the new traders, I try and explain that the best I can. Again, I don't know. I've said this many times on my streams. I said it today on streams. I don't know what the numbers are going to be. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not, able to predict what's going to happen. I think that the optimism for the dollar is pretty justified so far. But again, it's going to be tomorrow a big deal because off the pop of this US dollar move, now is the question, now is the time for the rubber to meet the road. It's time for it to really show in the numbers because there's rumors right now that the Fed is very positive on their outlook and that things are looking good for the economy to the point that they may look to raise rates 2 times before 2023. That's the rumor, right? The question is, will the jobs numbers, will the economic data that comes out match the overall thesis, right? And that's the question, because if it comes out tomorrow, it's very disappointing. We could see a reversal of all that dollar bullishness, which could lead us back to, pushing back down to levels like the 38.2% retracement. Well, actually, I guess we kind of have to extend this out now, truthfully. Could lead us back to, again, the 38.2% retracement and maybe even deeper retracements on this big dollar push. So again, tomorrow is a big decider for this dollar trend. Is it going to continue? Are the numbers going to marry up with the rumors, or is the rumor different than the actual news? That's the main point, and that's why tomorrow's NFP, in my opinion, has potential to move quite a bit, and if not move quite a bit, at least have a lot of impact on the future pricing of the US dollar. And again, I am bullish overall on the dollar right now. The Fed's tone, their hawkish outlook, to me seems like a pretty good thing to look for long setups on, unless, again, tomorrow, unless it completely just disrespects those rumors and we see just bad numbers or low numbers, disappointing numbers, and we see a reversal on the dollar. So for me, again, I am looking for long setups until we see otherwise and until the data does not marry up. So watching for a strong number tomorrow will be the name of the game for dollar bullishness for me. If it is disappointing, I may pause on my dollar bullishness. If it is strong, then I will look to continue. And again, with my specific position on dollar Swiss, looking to hold this if I can, or stop out if the numbers do not marry up and we get some sort of pullback there that is too steep for my position. So with that said, guys, thank you very much for tuning in to this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Hey, I'm doing these videos. There's a kind of like newer form videos where I just sort of, what's going on right now. I'll make a video about it and just sort of pop it up on YouTube. So if you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Like I said, it just lets me know that you want to see more of this sort of content instead of some of the other stuff that I've done on my channel. Thank you very much for being here. Have a great rest of your day. Be safe during NFP. Please be careful. A lot of times people will over leverage their account dramatically or do something crazy. Don't gamble on NFP. It's a very dangerous time, but just be aware of some of the things that we talked about in this video. Thanks very much, and we will see you back tomorrow.